Thanks for logging on to myfoxhurricane.com. I'm Jim Weber with your tropical update. Tropical storm Eta moved over the Keys late last night with winds of 65 miles an hour. It's now worked its way into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, throughout the morning hours, we've seen a lot of heavy rain along the southwest coast from Cape Coral to Naples, all the way down into the Keys. And there's more of these scattered showers continuing to work their way across the state. And this is what we're going to really see as we go through the next several days, is just a continuation of these off and on shower rain bands that work their way through. And then the gusty winds, gusting up to 30, 35, up to very close to tropical storm force, I think, as we go through the next few days. Now, visible satellite loop really starts to tell you some interesting things. You look at this, and this is somewhat of a ragged looking system. Now, if this was September, this would be a completely different scenario. Now, there's warm water over the Gulf of Mexico, so it's going to try and reorganize, but you look on that eastern and that northern side, you're seeing that clear slot. That is actually dry air that has been pulled into the system. And some of this dry air has made its way all the way towards the center, but you notice over the past several hours, you're starting to see more convection near the center of this system. So it's trying to regain some of that intensity. It's an environment now where the wind shear is starting to decrease a bit. It's moving over warm water. So there's that potential as we go through the next day or so. It could regain some more strength, and there's still that chance it could become a hurricane. The official forecast track at this point does not call for it to become a hurricane, but we have certainly seen a lot of weird things happen throughout this year, and with tropical systems in general. You look at the water vapor loop, you can really see anywhere you see that red shade, that is dry air, some of that being pulled right in to the middle of this system. That's also what has helped to degrade this system. Now, as we go through the week, there will continue to be plenty of dry air surrounding this system, and anytime you see this being pulled into the middle of the system, that will certainly affect it. So overall, the structure of this, I think, is going to be fairly compromised over the next several days, and it's going to continue to struggle with increasing wind shear as we head towards the second half of the week, and then that dry air as well. Winds right now are only at 50 miles an hour. It's 24.2, 84.2. It is currently moving to the southwest at 16 miles an hour. So it'll continue on that southwesterly track until it looks like probably sometime tomorrow morning. That's when the steering currents start to collapse and it kind of meanders a little bit, and then eventually works its way on towards the north. That's where we start to get more of these question marks as we head into the second half of the week. The official forecast track, it has been trending a little bit further to the west, away from us, which is certainly good news. Now, the other thing to notice is it continues to weaken this storm as it heads further on to the north. Cooler air, stronger wind shear makes sense. Could it be this strong? Well, quite possibly. It could actually end up being stronger than this. So you just have to watch as we go through the week. But the idea is that this is going to be a long duration event that we have to continue to watch. You look at the computer models, and they're just all over the place. Shows you why that forecast track really has low confidence at this point, especially in that long term, because will it head over to the panhandle? Will it head closer to us? Those are really things that will have to be fine-tuned over the next several days. The European and the GFS, again, in the short term, fairly good agreement. But then notice as we go past Wednesday, the European basically just continues to work its way onto the north and the northeast, while the GFS starts to do some loops out here into the Gulf of Mexico. So we've got differing results still. As we go through the next several days, we should start to get a little more consensus among these models, but overall, this will be an event where we're basically looking at some gusty winds over west central Florida and these off and on rain bands. Now, if it gets closer to us, we'll tend to amplify some of those effects, but this is something we'll just have to continue to watch as we go through the weekend. We'll keep you updated right here on myfoxhurricane.com.